Your four favorites are Grizzly Man, Magnolia, Amadeus, and What Do We See When We Look at the Sky? This is a bit of a tricky one because all four of these feel like such singular films. You already saw nearly every Werner Herzog film I could think of. The only one I wrote down that you didn't have marked as watched is My Best Fiend, which I especially think you'd like because it depicts an obsessive, self-destructive person like Grizzly Man. It explores the complexities of human relationships like Magnolia. Like Amadeus, it's about a sort of rivalry or love-hate relationship between two artists. And like What Do We See When We Look at the Sky, it's not really trying to provide us with answers, it's more about evoking a feeling. And since I know you've already seen Fitzcarraldo, I think Burden of Dreams would make a great double feature with My Best Fiend. And this movie, like Grizzly Man, is about a man with a self-destructive obsession and involves the dynamic of man versus nature. Like Magnolia, it's about someone pursuing their dreams. Like Amadeus, it's about the intersection between artistic genius and obsession. And like What Do We See When We Look at the Sky, it kind of reflects on humanity's relationship with nature and the world around us. And two short films from the same director that I especially think you'd enjoy as a Werner Herzog fan are Werner Herzog Eats His Shoe and Garlic is as Good as 10 Mothers. The Devil and Daniel Johnston is a 2005 documentary like Grizzly Man. Like Magnolia, it's about trauma and emotional vulnerability. Like Amadeus, it's about a talented musician. And like What Do We See When We Look at the Sky, it feels sort of observational. Another documentary about a musician I think you might enjoy since you're a fan of Grizzly Man and Amadeus is Searching for Sugar Man. Close Up incorporates elements of documentary filmmaking like Grizzly Man. Like Magnolia, the characters are flawed but portrayed with empathy. Like Amadeus, it's about a man whose admiration for an artist gets a little out of hand. And like What Do We See When We Look at the Sky, it's got a patient observational style. All that jazz, like Grizzly Man, is about a man whose passion becomes self-destructive. Like Magnolia, it's about mortality and regret. Like Amadeus, it's based on a real person who was a very talented artist but also deeply flawed. And like What Do We See When We Look at the Sky, it incorporates elements of fantasy. The Act of Killing is a documentary like Grizzly Man. Like Magnolia, it's about guilt and regret. Like Amadeus, there's this sense of theatricality and performance. And like What Do We See When We Look at the Sky, it blends elements of realism with some fantasy or surreal visuals. I think you might enjoy The Red Shoes because like Grizzly Man, it's about someone whose passion borders on the brink of self-destruction. Like Magnolia, it's about people searching for love, success, and just longing for whatever it is they desire. Like Amadeus, it's about artistic ambition and one of the characters is a composer. And like What Do We See When We Look at the Sky, it uses imagery that feels almost fantastical. Since I keep mentioning passion, obsession, and artistic ambition, and your favorite film is a documentary, I want to recommend Jodorowsky's Dune. The Tree of Life, like Grizzly Man, explores the relationship between humanity and nature. Like Magnolia, it's about family, love, and regret. Like Amadeus, it features some classical music. And like What Do We See When We Look at the Sky, it's got that meditative examination of the beauty in everyday life. F for Fake is a documentary like Grizzly Man that's about art and legacy like Amadeus. Like Magnolia, it experiments with storytelling structure to get at the heart of something deeper about humanity. And like What Do We See When We Look at the Sky, it has a level of self-awareness that calls attention to the fact that we're watching a film. When Paul Thomas Anderson met Robert Altman, he said, "All I'm doing is ripping you off." So I think as a fan of Magnolia, you might appreciate Shortcuts. And the combination of Magnolia and Amadeus makes me think you'd also like Nashville. Since Magnolia is a hyperlink film, another one that I think evokes a sort of similar feeling is Exotica. Since you're a fan of Amadeus, I think you might enjoy Barry Lyndon, which is also a period drama about ambition. Uncle Boonmee, Who Can Recall His Past Lives, has the elements of fantasy and a meditative tone like What Do We See When We Look at the Sky? But it's also about humanity's relationship with nature like Grizzly Man, and it's about family loss and regret like Magnolia. I feel like I should include at least one documentary about humanity's relationship with nature since you're a fan of Grizzly Man, but I feel like it's not the same if they're not directed and narrated by Werner Herzog. But another one that also has to do with this fascination with a wild animal is My Octopus Teacher. And this one isn't a documentary, I just have a gut feeling. There's just something about the relationship between human beings and animals in Grizzly Man, and the meditative observational style of What Do We See When We Look at the Sky, that makes me think you might like EO, but maybe this one is more of a wild card. A few films that have a patient meditative tone similar to What Do We See When We Look at the Sky that I think you might enjoy are 3 Iron, High Pay Story, Old Joy, and Patterson. And last but not least, Grizzly Man and What Do We See When We Look at the Sky are both narrated by the directors themselves, and Grizzly Man is a documentary. So I want to recommend a documentary that's also narrated by its director, that captures so many emotions like Magnolia, but is also about art like Amadeus, and has that meditative tone and finds the beauty in life's smaller moments like What Do We See When We Look at the Sky? And that's as I was moving ahead, occasionally I saw brief glimpses of beauty.